Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so this is in response to a comment that I responded to in another video. It came up about modern Rolexes and vintage pieces like what I'm wearing right now. I'm almost embarrassed to show you. Yeah, I switched out the GMT Master 2, but yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It's just, I can just relax more with this piece. I mean, that's part of it, having a piece that you can relax with, and I really can with this. I feel like it's really usable. I'm not at all worried about something happening to it or scuffs or marks or whatnot. Anyway, let's get back on topic. This commenter said something along the lines of finding the old vintage bracelets cheap and nasty. And I wanted to talk about my take on that. Because, you know, old bracelets, well, they catch some, you know, slack. Especially in light of the new ones and, you know, how much better the new ones are, apparently. Full disclosure, I mean, I've never actually fiddled with the clasp. I mean, I had my hands obviously on a GMT Master 2. Well, that was in that video when I was in Fukuoka. It was two-tone, and I just didn't even really think to look at it. I was more concentrating on the bezel. But I'll you know. Anyway, my only point is that I know no other bracelets aside from this, which is solid in-link bracelet, and then the other two watches that I have, which are hollow in-link bracelets. Let me just go off on a bit of a tangent here and just say, you know, when I first got into cameras, I had it that I had to have the newest camera. I mean, I felt like I was at a disadvantage, at a sort of at a disadvantage if I didn't have the new camera with the new sensor. And, you know, when you look at these sites that test the sensors, they give you numbers, and, you know, you'll be able to compare, you know, this sensor's got a 90 and this one's got an 83. And, you know, it's easy to look at those figures and think, well, I can't use an 83. I've got to use a sensor with a 90, you know, and then you want to upgrade. But it's all BS, because the human eye doesn't know the difference between those sensors. And I mean, I was using a Canon 7D, and then I got for fun a $100 old 40D. Obviously, the pictures were smaller, but you know, the quality was more than comparable. No, I mean, you couldn't even tell the difference. If I showed you, you know, a picture from the 40D, you wouldn't have known the difference. If I'd showed you the size, you might have been tipped off. But my only point is that it's easy to think, I can't go older because I got to go with the new technology is distinctly, you know, better. But is it in practice? Well, the bracelets might be. The bracelets very well might be. Now, that's not to say that there's not a lot to love about these bracelets. I mean, as I put in the comment, they get rattly when they get older, the hollow in-link bracelets, but they're light, they're comfortable, they're really strong. They're beautiful. They've got that vintage look to them. I love I much prefer this clasp than the new clasp. No matter how nice it functions and the micro adjustments, aesthetically, I prefer this clasp. I think it looks better. I like the stamped, you know, crown on it, and the flip lock. I love it. You know, these bracelets have served Rolex wearers for decades, and they're the same bracelets that made all those wonderful firsts that really put Rolex on the map as far as, you know, exploration and accomplishments in the wild. And I'm not here to say that these bracelets are better, but I'm just here to say that I've never looked down at my wrist and thought, this bracelet sucks, or it's cheap, or it's nasty. I really like the bracelets of the vintage pieces. I gotta say, I give them a thumbs up. Now, given your druthers, I think, why not go for a solid in link versus a hollow in link bracelet? And that's what I have with this watch. It's a solid in link bracelet. In practice, is there a big deal? No, not at all. I mean, this isn't rattly. My other watches aren't either. In practice, I can't say that I notice anything. Nothing whatsoever. When I change the straps, the one advantage of the solid in link bracelet is that the links stay on the bracelet. You don't have to worry about them. On the hollow in link bracelets, the in link is attached to the bracelet with a spring bar. So when you take the spring bar out, you put it back on the case of your watch to put your NATO on, you'll have three pieces. You'll have the two hollow in links and you'll have the bracelet. And in that sense, it's sort of again, it's not that big of a deal. It's a bit of a pain in the ass if you're traveling. You could lose one of those in links, but it's not that big of a deal. That's it. That's really my only, quote, complaint of the hollow in link bracelets. I'll go you one further, though. After I got the 14060 sub, no date sub, I thought, should I have gotten the M? And then you look at these watches, and the internals, it's got a, quote, better movement. And I think it's got a smoother movement. But in practice, could it be any better? My no date sub has the older movement. It doesn't have the 14060M movement, whatever movement's in that watch. That said, it gains about +1 every 2 days. So, and it's consistent. So, while somebody could look at it and say, well, it doesn't have the newer movement, in practice, there's nothing that I could complain about. So, I think it's all nice to want the new things and to, especially I think this is a symptom if the person doesn't have a Rolex yet. And they think, well, I've got to get the newer one because if I get the older one, it's not going to be as good. Well, what is good? If good is keeping time to +2 seconds every 2 days, the 14060, I can't complain about it. Is the sweep of the hand as smooth as it is on the M? Probably not. I don't know. It's a great question. I should check out an M sometime and see. But, these innovations are nice, but in practice, when a watch performs as perfectly as, some of these older ones do, it really becomes a moot point. Anyway, let me know what you think. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.